concerns is make them subject to my pulling them from the program. So at this time, I would entertain any questions you have about this program that I'm proposing you expand to the juniors.
Do you manage this program, Mrs. Whitman?
I am in charge of it, yes sir. Just me.
Does it add any burden to anybody else?
No, actually.
By adding more students to it, is it going to be a...
It's more work for me because I have to track those students, but it's less work for the teachers because those students are now not in study hall, and that allows teachers to work with the students who need help. So it decreases our study hall population so that study hall can indeed become an extended learning center experience where they're able to work with those students. I will tell you, many of our students who are in AP classes are taking a class called peer tutoring. That shouldn't be affected by this because that's a class they sign up for like any other class, and they get a credit for that. So they may have ELC release where they have their study hall as their own study time, but many of these students are in peer tutoring where they're getting a credit to help other students perform. So we are seeing that as a benefit as well.
You don't foresee this for sophomores, do you?
No, sir, never, because they don't drive. I'm not going to put them in that position.
Okay.
This would strictly be a junior and a senior privilege. But as I said, we will reevaluate that at the end of the year to see how successful it is for both classes. So Adam, take the message back to the junior class that they have to do a good job with this. With great privilege comes great responsibility.
Off the topic a little bit, the sophomores, how many classes do they have to select from for AP?
If they're advanced enough, they can take quite a few. Government is a senior level course. We do have a sophomore in a junior AP US history course. We have a sophomore in an AP chemistry class, which typically is a junior level class. We have two sophomores, he's right. So it really depends. We're going to see, because of the acceleration in language arts, I think we're going to see the opportunity for more students taking AP classes in the sophomore year, which will accelerate.
And if they get a 3, 4, or 5 on the test, they also get college credit for that?
Yes, per state law.
So I like next year, you could be what? Mid-year sophomore?
As per, we're going to be graded, schools are A, B, C, or D. How would you surmise where we are on this program right now?
The AP component is a factor in the calculation, and based on our preliminary data that we have from College Board, we are looking at 30% of our seniors from last year earning a 3, 4, 5 on the AP exam, which would exceed every state in the national report from last year. We won't have this year's national report until February. So really we're waiting until that February date to see how we compare apples to apples with the 2010 data to 2010.
Well, that's what I meant. How is it when you compare, you're comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges on this when it comes to AP in other states? So really the comparison of how we do, what fits us is different on the comparison where it is for another state, correct?
The only way to compare is to compare the percentage of students of a senior class who get a 3, 4, 5, because that factors in your entire senior population and any AP experiences they may have had at any point in their high school. So that is the true comparison data. Now again, the dilemma that you have is some schools within Indiana do not require everyone to take the test, so they bring the percentage for the state down. We require every child in our AP program to take the test, so we actually bring the state average up. So that's a benefit for us. In terms of the calculation for the state on the ABCDF scale, we get a 2-point calculation for that, which is an A for just the AP. So that was a long answer to probably a short question. That puts us at the A range. The goal for the state is 25%. We are at 30 per the report I gave you at the beginning of the school year.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
We have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0, or 4-0. Student Council, Alex.
Okay, don't have too much today. Pretty much over the last month, the main stuff that's been going on has just been some different holiday activities, mainly service projects and different drives. The Key Club packed 6 Thanksgiving baskets for some local families a few weeks ago, the week directly before Thanksgiving. And then just over the past month, the AP Economics class held a socks and underwear drive for the Muncie Mission, and we raised 216 pairs of underwear and 273 pairs of socks for the men at the Muncie Mission for Christmas, so that was pretty exciting. And then Key Club and some other different clubs have been participating in different activities like caroling and that type of thing at nursing homes and hospitals. And finally, the Student Council put up its annual giving tree where we raised 4 to 5 boxes of gifts such as toys and clothes for 2 local families in the community. So that's pretty much what's been happening at the high school. In the future, we're looking forward to snow coming in January, and then eventually planning the dance marathon march. That's kind of our next upcoming event. So,
Thank you. Mrs. McCormick.
Just real quick, I'd like to commend our band. We went to the 5th grade concert. Michelle and I attended that today, and they were fabulous. You know, some of you were there. And also, the middle school and the high school performed last night, and they were also great. So kudos to Mr. Glover and Mr. Higgins. They do a great job, and our kids sounded wonderful. Also, I want to thank Mr. Mouse, who reported this morning at Chamber that they had raised about $3,300 for teenagers in our community who were in need for Christmas. And so 33 kids would receive a significant amount for them for Christmas where they might not have received any. So I want to thank them because I think that's a service to take care of our community, which is important for all of us to do. So kudos to Mr. Mouse.
Thank you. Closing comments from board members. Mr. Lavelle.
Thanks for everyone coming out tonight. It's kind of a bad night out there, and other than that, happy holidays. Have a good Christmas.
Mrs. Alexander.
Same thing. I just hope everyone enjoys their time off, students and teachers especially, and thanks for coming.
Mr. Clevenger.
I don't think I have anything. Thanks.
Okay, I got 3 things. Well, I guess we have Mrs. Brown, Kelly Brown's class at the Yorktown Middle School for pre-algebra. She's in the Hoosier Math Cup. I know halfway through it, she's in one of the top 30 divisions, so I don't know any results yet.
No results yet.
Okay, but great job there. Also, we've got back from the state what our graduation rate is. We are up at 95.3%. That's an increase from 2009 at 93%. So we showed improvement there, so great work by high school. And then finally, the YES Spell Bowl team. I know they scored better this year, but still got 2nd place, 5 points out of 1st place, but still the medal's still very good. We're getting there. So, good one. And beyond that, Merry Christmas, and thank you for attending. Meeting adjourned.